we're now, if I can find the, we're now going to have another series of short 5-minute snapshots to have a look at different systems around the world. And the first of those comes from Russia. If I can ask Mikhail Stishov to come up and talk about the assessment of protected areas and regional networks from WWF Russia. Thanks.
It's the slides. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. I'm Mikhail Stishov from WWF Russia, and it's my pleasure to present you the methodics of protected area effectiveness, conservation effectiveness for protected areas and the regional system that was developed in our office a couple years ago. Actually, I'm a little bit afraid that I'm not in the context now, because it's not on the management effectiveness, at least not directly. And just opposite, we start this work because we wasn't fully satisfied to measure just management success. Because there is a lot of situation, at least in our country, when we have no the direct linkage between management efforts and management effectiveness and conservation results. So in some places we can just do nothing and have no management at all and have a very good conservation success, and just opposite situation when despite the huge management efforts and huge funding and so on, we have no success at all. But obviously it's not any alternative to the management effectiveness tools, it's just some addition which, as we hope, let us to see more closely and in more details how our protected areas works for conservation. So, okay. I'll get it. Okay, there is in generally, I will skip some slides. In generally, we start with the assessment of individual protected areas in the region based on some sets of certain indicators, and then we come to the assessment of the regional system, which based on the aggregated individual protected areas indicators and some own networks indicator. And there is also a possibility to assess the expected effectiveness on the planned, on proposed protected area network, if there is any. And then when we can compare the existent and planned network to see how good our plan is and how we will improve the system if we will implement it. As to individual PA, we start with the evaluation of conservation value of the territory, and then comes to conservation significance, which related to the current state and trends of the protected area, and the ratio of the conservation value and significance give us the current conservation effectiveness. And if it's not complete, I mean if it's significantly less than 100%, then we come to identifying of the main factors and drivers which provide this incompleteness, and we have the ability to evaluate the potential current effectiveness which could be reached in case of elimination or mitigation part of these factors if it's possible. And the next step, it's very approximate. We can evaluate the prospective effectiveness, which we will have in nearest future under the current possible current risks and some global changes. Okay, and the very important things that when we are working with individual protected areas, we made all this evaluation on the first step separately for different conservation functions to see in details how our PA works for conservation, some main ecosystem types, for endangered species, for bioresources, and so on and so on. Then it's combined and we guide the common general indicator. And for the networks, we use the aggregated, summarized or average indicators for individual PA, and also there's some indicator for connectivity and completeness of the network, which is also combined indicator, and they are combined from this list of the components. And so far, the first approbation of this methodics we conduct in the Altai Republic, and we produce a report. It's available on our website. And then during last 2 years, we made it in the 7 regions of the Russian Federation, most in Far East and Siberia, and also in the Republic of Kyrgyzstan beyond the Russia. And the government of Kyrgyzstan asked us to make a little adaptation to make this methodics official for regular using in the country. So unfortunately I can't come to the details due to very limited time, but all these things are published, and there was some copies out there, and it's available on the website of WWF Russia. Thank you very much.